drug test as well.
So I think we'll just go all in then. Questions. You pick whose question done.
There was talk before the fight by Dillian Whyte to say that perhaps you're not as hungry because you've had obviously successful career up to now.
Yeah.
Now, you look pretty hungry in that fight. You showed a lot of heart. Do you think in terms of the marginals that's slightly changed for you insofar as a hungrier fighter by a margin? What do you think?
I think, firstly, congrats to my opponent for putting on a great performance. I was very hungry this fight, and I was motivated and I wanted to win. Going into this fight, we had a great game plan. I feel like I didn't execute the plan that my coach put in place. There was mistakes and there's a few things that we worked on in camp, which I wasn't able to do. And I feel when you have a fighter that's hungry and has the will to win, like Dillian Whyte, it was quite hard for me to execute the plan. So I take full responsibility for not executing the plan. I just need to work on a few things once I get back and just get better and better.
Joe, do you think you'd have won if there was one more round?
Listen, anything could have happened. But I was given 12 rounds to do what I had to do. Obviously it didn't work out. There's no complaints here. We just have to take it on the chin and then hopefully come back and fight here again sometime.
So what was it like to take that punch that knocked you down?
Oh well, the punch that you don't see is the punch that hits you, so it was a surprise. But our team showed heart to get back up and to fight on, and I think we put on a more exciting fight than the last fight. So we're happy with making it more exciting. But just the plan that we had in place, if I executed it a lot better, it would have been a different fight.
Joe, how does Dillian compare to Anthony Joshua?
Pardon?
How does Dillian compare to Anthony Joshua?
It's different styles. I feel like Dillian was a fighter who came forward and very, I wouldn't say dirty, but he roughed me up, and he did everything he could to get the victory. So he showed true heart.
Is he on the same level?
Joshua fought a different fight. He fought a fight keeping me at bay with his jab and sort of distance, whereas Dillian Whyte came in and looked for those big shots, which he was able to land.
That first knockdown, Joe, it looked like a replay for it was a headbutt of some sort, accidental or otherwise. Was there any punch involved in that knockdown, or was it purely his head?
I think from the advice I was given from the team was a headbutt, the first knockdown, and then the second one was
Did that shake you up a bit, the first knockdown?
just surprised me, but I got back up and carried on.
Joe, what's your kind of feeling about that? Because obviously he got scored 10-8 then to Whyte, and without that it looks like a draw on the scorecard.
I think it's a round we were winning. I think it was a 10-9 round, and it went from being a 10-9 round to us to a 10-8 round to Dillian. And when you talk about that headbutt, I actually think that the effects of that headbutt were suffered in rounds 3 and 4. Joe just wasn't himself, and it wasn't until the 5th round I believe he actually had everything going again. He was actually a little dazed from that and shocked when he came back to the corner.
Well, what I mean is there any kind of bitterness on your part then about the results? Obviously you've lost the verdict, and if that round gets scored, if it goes as a headbutt and doesn't get scored as a knockdown,
there's no bitter feelings from our team. We did, like I said, we did our best. I did my best. Didn't follow the game plan, but it's live to fight another day. He won today, and congrats to him.
Kevin, what went wrong from your perspective where you were watching the fight?
Look, firstly let me say I'm really, really proud of Joe. I thought he fought a very courageous, a very gallant fight. He dug deep. We had a short camp. It was a good camp, but a short camp. And there were a couple of things that he could have done better on the day, but we knew that Dillian was a real physical guy. And I expected him to bring out the best in Joe and make Joe fight, and I think that's the sort of fight we all saw tonight. But look, I'm very proud of him, and the way that he dug down deep in the later rounds and came back and was an inch away from winning the fight. It was a great fight for the fans. It's a sort of fight that dare I say it as a trainer, but it's the fight that we need. We needed a real war like that. This is Joe's, the Taken fight was a hard fight, but this was a war tonight. And we were fighting a guy who was very, very hungry, and a guy who, you know, he knew that he was gambling everything in this fight against Joe. And, you know, he sucked up some really big punches. You know, his boxing skills actually surprised me a little bit. Like Dillian's you know, I'll admit it, you know, he's a better fighter than I thought he was.
Where do you go during boxing? So, where do you go from here? Because you fought a few times in London, and while everyone is booing you when you come to the ring, you've got a hell of a lot of support here. People like you, they can see you carry yourself well. And, you know,
Well, look, the funny thing is that finding the right comeback opportunity won't be hard. In fact, you know, because I've soaked up, I've seen the event tonight, I've soaked up the response from the public, I'm sitting sandwiched between Barry Hearn and Eddie Hearn, so I've been privy to their views on things which I won't share now, but I'm very confident that there'll be a range of great comeback options for Joseph Parker if he wants to come back. And I believe, I've heard nothing to suggest he doesn't. He's a human being, it's his body, so I'm not going to bother him with that stuff. He can go home, meet a newborn baby daughter, relax, have a rest, then we take stock, we analyse the options. But the good news, there are a range, I can guarantee you there's a range of solid comeback options on the table. And you know, what I take over tonight, I mean, Joseph's not one to really talk about stuff like this, so I didn't really find out the dressing room, but he said that the head that caught behind the ear shook the balance. Because for me, because I've watched all the fights, something didn't seem quite right. So, and there's no excuses. Dillian absolutely came in as a bully and was tough. And for Joe to hang in there through those middle rounds and then nearly win it at the end. So for me it's frustrating because we're nearly there, you know, had there been another minute we might be celebrating victory. But that's boxing. It's a bittersweet and brutal sport. And we've been on the receiving end, we're due some serendipity and luck. So what do? I guess we take stock, he heals his body, cleans his head, and we then look at, I'll probably call Eddie to begin and we look at the options. But so I'm not concerned about the immediate future. There'll be good opportunities. It's really about like when. And, you know, we've had a very busy 3 or 4 months. So,
Joseph, is giving up boxing something you're considering?
No, but I've had a goal. You know, I still stand by my goals that I had. It would be great to be, you know, 2-time world champion, unified champion. So I'm already, you know, 30, 31. I'm out. But for now, I'm going to go hard and give it everything I have.
You talk about the fact that you were disappointed you didn't execute the game plan tonight. Is there a reason why that didn't happen?
You know, I tried my best to execute the plan, but sometimes when you're in the ring with a solid opponent, you know, he can cause a few things to stop you from trying to execute that plan. And I believe the plan that we did have in place, when, you know, a few things where I could have moved better, that we practiced a lot on camp and, you know, kept my distance a bit better, it would have been different. But you know, it's hard when you have someone coming forward, putting a lot of pressure and wanting to bash you.
Joseph. Stephen, on that note, you seemed, you know, you were watching there, you seemed quite animated, you know, in the team talk times. What was it like for you watching Joe and knowing what he was capable of in the training and seeing it not potentially being carried out?
Well, you know, obviously I always want Joe to fight his best fight. It's hard to fight the perfect fight. And you know, all the best game plans that you put in place are only as good as the guy in front of you. And as Joe said, like, you know, Dillian Whyte cancelled out a lot of the things that Joe was trying to do. He was very physical, he was very aggressive, and he fought with a lot of hunger. And you know, Joe was putting his combinations together very well, but he was stopping in front of him after he threw the punches. And Dillian would just, you know, he'd just fire back. His counters were easy to land. You know, Joe was allowing him to land those body shots in the early rounds, which is something that we worked on in camp, you know, not to allow him to hit Joe to the body.
And So what were you saying to him? You know, you seem to be having some quite heated moments.
Well, you know, I think, you know, when you get in a fight like that, you know, when both guys are on the canvas and there's a lot of illegal tactics going on and it's a tough fight, it's going backwards and forwards, you know, it's very hard to stay relaxed. And, you know, I was speaking to Joe very quietly for a start, and as we got into the middle rounds, I thought, okay, now I got to stir him up a little bit here, and you know, and I was just sort of trying to motivate him through to produce what I know he's capable of.
Joseph, because of the nature of the last round, do you think you deserve a rematch?
Yeah, you know, it would be great to have a rematch. You know, I think it was a great fight. You know, we threw a lot of punches and knocked each other down. And it just depends on what the team's happy with, you know, or if we can make a deal again.
I think a rematch, based on the conversations I've had, and this isn't coming from me, that a rematch is a distinct possibility. I haven't heard a single fan not say it was a great boxing contest. Went, you know, one way then the other, and Joe got there in the end. So we were going in saying it could be fight of the year. People are certainly saying it's one of the better heavyweight fights of recent times. So I think if we did decide to call for a rematch, we wouldn't be mocked or laughed at. People would say, yeah, that's legit. You take into account that headbutt tilting the score into a draw, and then the fact if we had another minute we might have won, we wouldn't, and there's no disrespect to Dillian Whyte. I think we could legitimately call for one if we wanted one, and there'd been a few conversations, so you never know. And you know, I don't think anyone would complain if, you know, White Parker 2 was announced.
Joseph, after the Joshua fight, there was a clear sense of frustration in, I guess, how you boxed it. How would you describe your mindset right now about the fight you just had? You know, what's going through your head about that fight?
Listen, I'm happy. You know, I lost to the better man of the day, but I'm excited. I'm still young. There's still a lot of work to be done. You know, I gotta hit the gym again. You know, keep training hard to get some abs, get more power, and to practice listening better, you know, to the instruction given in the corner.
I'll speak for everyone that you are very, very popular and you got the reaction you deserved at the end of the fight. So firstly, does that make you more interested to maybe stay in England as a base for future fights? Also, you had traffic issues before. Did that, I'm not saying excuse, but did it, obviously no one likes traffic. Did that, was the frustration boiling over in the car?
It's funny you mentioned it.
In 2 hours.
We nearly got up and said we want to walk to the stadium. But that's not no excuses. It's all things happen, and it's for us. It's fantastic that we have good support here, and we mentioned many times we're very welcome. A lot of people show us love and support. We're walking around and the hotel we're staying in. So whatever makes sense, fight-wise and business-wise, I think we'll love to fight here again.
Yeah, I mean, you go on gut feeling is you probably would do back here, I think. But you never know, it is boxing.
Has anyone else got a question they're desperate to ask?
Yeah, I mean, with 2 back-to-back losses, is your partnership with KB something you're considering, Joseph?
Our partnership is very strong, and this fight I've taken on the chin. Like there's so much, you can teach you all this, and it's hard for me to execute the plan, And like I said before, if I executed the plan, it'd be different. But it's very hard when you have a great, challenge in front of you. So our partnership is strong. I'm sticking to the team that I have. We've had a big fight with Joshua. We had another big fight with Dillian Whyte. So we're just planning and looking forward to the future.
What about you, KB?
Well, I'm a little insulted that you even asked that question. I can't get in the ring and throw the punches for Joe. I give every ounce of energy that I have to this man. I love this man. And my mission is to make him as good as he possibly can be. And I'm totally dedicated and devoted to Joe. We don't just train together in the gym for 1 hour every day. We spend the whole day together every day, 7 days a week. We're a very close team.
He's probably the best Dillian Whyte ever fought. And he's a tough guy. And he brought his 8, he had a 10 in 10s. and he's nearly got over him. So it wasn't actually that bad night at the office when we analysed it factually.
Do you think Dillian should have had a point deducted for his kind of rough tactics?
I thought he should have had several points deducted. I'm a little pissed actually. You know, and I talked to Ian about it before the fight. And I said, look, we're not after any favours. We've had a rough time with officials, but let's make it a fair fight. And I said, we know this guy's going to punch after the bell. We know he's going to hit Joe in the back of the head. What are you going to do about it? He said, he hits him in the back of the head. I'll caution him and take points off. And I said, really? Did I say that? When we were rapping? I said, we know he's a dirty fighter. Okay, they're his tactics. And it works for him, okay? But I talked to the referee about it and I said, I don't want any favours. Just officiate the fight. And he cautioned him a couple of times. Of course he should have points taken off, 100%.
You weren't happy with the referee in the Joshua fight, so you're more angry tonight about this referee?
No, I'm just, look, I'm a little angry because I had no chance of even speaking to the referee in the Joshua fight. The only question I asked of him, he threw his arms in the air. No, don't understand.
The one where the headbutt, the headbutt was probably a genuine mistake. So with the Joshua fight, I think the referee actually tried to hinder our side and actually consciously favoured Joshua. That's my opinion. Tonight, I think Ian John Lewis probably thought it was. I'd put it more in the mistake category than the deliberate category.
David, you said this week that a second loss for Joseph would be very difficult for him to come back from. How will he come back from?
Well, it's a good question. It's how you lose is a big part of it, and we lost in the best possible way because of the sheer heart with that headbutt, the eardrum equilibrium, fighting on, nearly getting over in the 12th round. All the British fans I'm talking to are saying mass respect, and so it's funny like that. And then I'm aware of commercial things that I can't really talk about, but the comeback opportunity won't be difficult. It's really a matter of getting things right. I mean, obviously the short camp wasn't ideal, but we chose to take it, so we own it. We won't use that as an excuse. But next time we'll have a rest and probably plan a long camp and pick the right opponent, and we'll be back. I mean, Derek Chisora was criticised for he took a few losses and that, and look what he did tonight. People have written him off. Klitschko had 3 losses before his 10-year reign as world champion. It's about how you come back. So whether we're done yet is up to Joseph Parker, not me. But I haven't heard anything to suggest that he's changing his plan for fighting on to the age of 30 or 31 or whatever.
What if there is another opportunity quite close to this thing? Happens to be the right opportunity to take it?
We discuss it as a team and weigh it up, and if we decide to take it, we take it. But we analyse and make our mind up at the time.
Guys, it's getting late. We have lucky last from Joy.
David, I have to ask this. You mentioned the bet earlier. Will you be paying
He hasn't.
£20,000?
I think he sympathises with me, so he hasn't chased it up yet because he knows that I can't afford it the way he can. But if he calls it, I'll pay it.
He'll
have to nominate a charity.
He said you can do his gardening for a week.
I'd rather pay.
Right, thanks guys. We'll wrap it up there.